called a little too early. Are you still there, Epic? You there, Epic?
I am here.
Okay. I called a little too early. My clock was off. Hey, what's up? Nobody's in the chat room yet? Okay, no problem.
That doesn't look like it.
That's fine. Our notifications don't go out.
Yeah, I know.
That's why.
I get them like 15 minutes later. Hey, there we go.
Hey,
It's
Leslie.
visitors.
Yeah, Leslie, what's going up? Nice to see you. Hey, John, what's going on?
John.
Yeah. Micronauts. What's happening?
I like it.
All right, we're about to get busy. One more minute.
What's up?
And then 3 minutes.
Listening to a podcast. I don't know if you want
I'm
to
not going to be on camera tonight.
be with me.
It's going to be that yellow screen.
Watch and listen to a podcast with me.
And hopefully I got this sound
I
good
know what it's going to be
over
about.
there.
I have no idea.
Yeah, been waiting for this Friday. We're stoked. So, all right, connecting up. Here we go. Hey, Lewis, what's going on, man? Good to see you. All right, let's see if we can connect. It's not letting us connect.
We're still early. We got 2 minutes, I think.
Yeah, they should be gone at the 57 mark, though. I don't know. Something's happening now. Looks like it's calling. Revolution Radio is unavailable.
What's up?
Fuck. I don't know what's going on, dude. Somebody's fucking with us now. Hang on, I gotta contact Tones. Hang on. I'm gonna go back to the call with you, Epic. He's telling me when we can go. Sorry, everybody. Sorry about that, you guys. Looks like we're gonna come in pretty much right on the dot. Fuck, hold on. Tasty vittles. I'm sorry, you guys, man. It's kind of lackluster. I can't play nothing. I'm gonna add these pricks. There we go. Not answering, man. Sorry, everybody over in the chat room over there. I gotta type messages back and forth to this dude. Go back over here to the call. So it's not picking up. Oh, man. This is bullshit. My name's Jimmy, and this is Revolution Radio, and I know everybody's just been having such a hard time lately, and I know color has become such a big issue, and it's on everyone's mind, and it's on my mind too, and I just wanted to say, tonight I'm going to take a few moments to celebrate whiteness with the whitest man on earth, Canadian rocker, Bryan Adams. My name's Jimmy, and Into the Microcosm is on the air.
Driving home this evening, could have sworn we had it all worked out. You had this boy believing way beyond the shadow of a doubt. Yeah. Well, I heard it on the street. I heard you might have found somebody new. Yeah. Well, who is it?
Dear friends, come forward, friends. Step forward. I bring you a message. A message few of you will be able to believe. A message of great importance. A message I alone was able to read in the fires of the universe. But be not afraid, my friends. I also bring you the means with which to save yourselves. Save us from what? From the end of the world, friend. Which I don't expect you to believe. But the rest of you, those who want to be alive tomorrow morning, I will tell you tonight. Remember that. Bring your friends here. I'll tell you tonight so that you will be able to prepare. What are you selling, mister? Snake oil? The world will come to a flaming end at midnight tonight. Without my help and knowledge, every one of you will be dead.
Oh, yeah! You wanna find it? Come on, yeah!
My name's Jimmy. It's Friday night, man. Get the lead out. It's time to get up, wake up, stand up, power to the people, right on. Well, got a lot to talk about. So much going on, so many things going on. Energy is wild tonight. I'm up in the pitch black velvet night of the Santa Cruz Mountains. And let me tell you, it's black as night, because it is night. Epic Journeyman, all you there.
I am here.
Excellent. It's good to see you, man. You smell good. You must have taken a shower. It smells like Irish spring morn in here in the green room. So I see you've been eating all the dried salami again, brother. I mean, if you're going to eat the dried salami, do me a favor and slice up some more. Zach, you know how Zach Wild gets when there's no dried salami in the house.
Well, you call it Cristal, man. I had to.
I know. Well, it's another Friday night, and so happy to be here. It's late night with Jimmy and the Epic Journeymans into the microcosm. If you've gotten small enough to get through the door, ladies and gentlemen, then you are in with the in crowd, at least for the next 2 hours right here at Revolution Radio, the #1 listener-supported radio network on the face of the plane and beyond. And we are surfing the square wave into the future right now.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
All right, Epic Journeyman. Let me have the wave report for the big islands and the islands and beyond. What's going on over the waves?
Oh, it's been a perfect blend. In the morning, it's been crystal clear, flat, great for diving, spearfishing. In the afternoon, it's been big waves, so it's perfect. You can't get better.
Excellent. Well, you been having any barbecues? I think catching any spear fishing? Anything over there on the spear?
No, actually, I went to go take my gun out last weekend. I still haven't taken that thing out and christened it yet. I got a new gun for the break, the lockdown.
Yeah, I know. Well,
yeah, I haven't taken it out yet.
Well, we got to tell everybody, go on over to freedomslips.com, revolution.radio. We are fully listener supported, and when Into the Microcosm comes on in, we put our guitar case over there at the door. It's called Patreon. You can go over there and step up to the plate and be one of the pay it forward people. So the next month when you tune in, turn on, and find out, you're going to find out that the station's still on the air. You could, one of those days, it could be that day where you tune in and there's nothing there. It's just... I was watching some Three Stooges earlier, man, and I just couldn't help but laugh. I don't know why that's funny, and for some reason it's only funny to guys. Women don't find it funny at all for some reason. I don't know. Are you a Three Stooges fan, Epic?
I haven't watched them since I was a kid, but when I was a kid, they were on all the time in syndication still. When I Love Lucy and Three Stooges and Laurel and Hardy, I feel like I'm 400 years old, rather, listening to that stuff, because that's all we had was 3 channels, In the afternoon, you got Gilligan's Island, right? So
I'll tell you what, I was laughing, man, earlier. So let's get into some more of this here, Epic. We'll be right back.
Now, America's most incredible network gives you another side of the story as we go into the world of the haters. America Undercover presents the Player Haters Ball.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
like real hate, man, that's like an art form, man. You know, it's like you like a born hater, you know, like myself, man. You know, a lot of cats think they hate me, man. I mean, I'm mad at everything, man. You know, brother got a nice car, man. Why you got a car, man? I only got one car. Why you got 3 cars or a wife or all that, man? That's played out, man. I hate on it till he's totally broke and ain't got nothing like me. You know what I'm saying? Cause yeah, that's what real hating is all about, man. Hey, what's poppin', everybody? The Evil Star here. I want to welcome you to the 5th annual Player Haters Award ceremony. This gala affair, we host this once a year. We honor the most prestigious verbal abusers on the planet. Present the award for Player Hater of the Year, Ice-T. I'd like to welcome all you ignorant ass bitches, critics, complainers, disgruntled rappers, and racists especially, to the 9th annual International Player Haters Ball. Oh man, hey, man, you corny. Next say something while I'm talking is getting shot. Please do so. So without further ado, let me give you the nominations for Player Hater of the Year. Y'all ready? First up,
Canadian rocker, Bryan Adams. He is celebrating diversity, ladies and gentlemen. Don't lie. I know you're over there rocking. Don't try to pretend like you didn't get off on that song. You know you heard it a million times. You know it's interesting. I should pull it up. You know there's Epic. You know there's a list of 12 songs that are used for mind control.
I did not.
Yeah, there is. We should pull it up, and we should.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Well, I'm not going to pull it up. I'm telling you to pull it up. I'm over here. I'm over here busy thinking and talking and stuff. You know, it's hard to
radio show stuff. Right. Yeah, I'll get on that.
No, but hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Into the Microcosm. We are social engineering the alternative media, one show at a time, right here on Revolution Radio. If you want to hear it first, you tune in to Revolution Radio. You dial up Into the Microcosm, and we'll put you a couple months ahead of the schedule. You know, I am broadcasting tonight from my mom's basement at an undisclosed location. Just now made myself a nice, fresh, hot pocket, and I'm about to sit down, become a keyboard warrior. But don't worry, I don't do Google for my show. I'm not a Googler. Epic. Are you a Googler? Are you a Googling radio host?
I am not actually.
Me neither.
But I absolutely need to be. Like, I'm gonna look up these 12 names of songs though. But yeah, I hate what I call them, Captain Googles. There's nothing more annoying to me than a Captain Google. You know who they are. You guys all know who they are. You guys and girls. Is those people who they know everything as long as they got their phone. Or as long as they got their keyboard in front of them. They know it all,
well,
right? But you ask them without that, they don't know a damn thing.
I think it's part of the big separation too. The big reason why a lot of younger folk feel like older folk, you know, they don't need them for any reason because they can just Google it on their phone. But you know, you don't get the boots on the ground actual experience that you get. For me, like I'm a Generation Xer, okay, and so you know, I went through some of the best periods of time in history. I mean, realistically, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. I mean, we were moving forward, weren't we? I mean, I thought things were going to be great, Epic. What happened, man? somebody
we get left out of polls now. They do these polls, right? They'll be like generation, the millennials and the boomers, and we're talking big polls. It doesn't matter, liberal, conservative, whatever they are, popular, pop culture, and they just completely leave out Generation X. I'm like what the X mean? They X us out? I mean, all the time. It happens all the time.
Well, the thing is,
we're the forgotten generation.
What I'm wondering is what happened, because everything was filled with so much promise. We were sitting there, we were minding our own businesses, and then all of a sudden, here comes these personal computers. Next thing you know, you got America Online. Next thing you know, it just goes wild, and people realize you don't actually have to have America Online to get on the internet. Because originally, people thought you had to actually pay $19.95 to America Online to get on the internet, because you had to have that kind of a service provider. So, these big giant. I mean, where did these places go? America Online, where did it go? Where did MySpace? Where did all these places go? They went in the dustbin. Huh? I mean, but
ironically, I still have an AOL email account.
Well, you know what the thing is like, what's happened over these periods of time, is that these filter bubble, dump sites where these like-minded people get profiled and pushed into these internet ghetto sites that Drudge talked about, these internet ghettos. And so, like, in the internet ghetto, there's a bunch of shills, flakes, con men, perpetrators. They're just flaking and perpetrating, but scared to kick reality, as NWA said back in the day. All these brothers flaking and perpetrating is scared to kick reality. And then Dr. Dre had to come in and express himself. He was expressing with his full capabilities because he's been living in correctional facilities. Remember that song? That was a good song. I used to run around with that song, and we were hardcore rockers, but that was really the first real, quote unquote gangster rap that a lot of rockers or a lot of heavy metal heads kind of liked it, the gangster feel, the gangster vibe. So they turned that into a giant money-making mechanism. But back to what I was saying about the shills, flakes, and perpetrators. So, I mean, the other day I was on my Facebook, and I noticed that a friend of mine on Facebook had passed away. And I was actually kind of bummed out about it because she's a really sweet and wonderful person. And I really bummed out that she had passed away, and I hadn't been paying attention to what was going on, but apparently she had some sort of condition, epic. And so she, found somebody that she found some hope in somebody on the internet that was putting up these cures or whatever. And so, a lot of people that are in the alternative media, for whatever reason, for a lot of they've heard a lot of stuff that makes them distrust the system, distrust the Western medicine, distrust just about everything. And anybody that doesn't want to have to bone up and face the music, they try to go some route where they think they can go over there and take some mushroom extracts or whatever. I'm not saying that there isn't things that do have an effect. The Gershon method, for one, is one. There's some oils, the Rick oils from Canada. Some of those have had good effects. But for the most part, this person had pancreatic cancer. And so instead of spending the rest of, what time she had left trying to, live as much as she could, she was relying on these things that weren't working, and she wasn't feeling good, and she, got worse and worse, and then she was just living in a really bad scene. So the point is that there's a lot of these people, man, running around, and let me tell you something. They used to travel around in wagons and come up to town after town, and because the towns hadn't had the experience of whatever the snake oil salesman was selling before, they hadn't been conned once before. They didn't really. It was back when everything was new, epic. When everything was still, people are still thinking up these ways that they could, and take advantage of people, because back then people were so trusting, right? I mean, isn't that one of the biggest things is that people are just naturally are trusting, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's the whole premise of the snake oil salesman, right? Is that they prey on that, So it doesn't matter what their product is, whether it be medicine or whether it be some form of new spirituality or cult or whatever it may be. It's something new, and they trust you. You have knowledge about it. Hey, this guy, he knows, he's got a cure, or she's got a cure, or whatever it is. And it's been that way for time immemorial. I mean, really. It probably hit its heyday though back in the 70s, really, in a way.
Well, no, I don't think. I think a lot of the games had been run out in the 70s, but they're always made new again, And the whole thing about the competence game is competence man is when you gain the competence of another person, that they believe in whatever it is you're selling or whatever it is you're doing. And we brought these characters to the table. And there's a lot of ways that these characters operate. So let's go, for example, let's talk about the system. And let's say that you're a young person in the system, and somehow you end up in the system, and then while you're in the system, the people there notice that you happen to be a very smart young man or woman. You happen to have a really good personality, and you have a magnetism that doesn't really exist around most people. So there's something about you that stands out. But the other thing about you that stands out is that you don't really have anybody like a mom and a dad that really know about you or care about you anymore, because now you're in the system for whatever reason. So these are perfect candidates, Epic, for characters like, for example, Charles Manson. We'll use Boys Town as an example. So there's a bunch of orphans, a bunch of boys in an area, and so these spotters all know what they're looking for, right? There's certain traits in people that they can pick out that will alert them that person is a certain kind of person. No, I mean, these personality types are easily picked out by somebody who's sitting back and has the experience and knowledge to be able to pick these people out.
They've been working on it for years too. I mean, by years I mean centuries, really, but definitely decades of refining exactly what to look for, what the cues are, and exactly the kind of candidate what they want to get out of that candidate. They can perform on it, because basically, the smarter you are, but the less attachments you have, the more likely you are to become conned and brought into a system like that, because you're looking for something that'll use your intellect and be a part of a group, right? And so the more likely you are to be, whether it be a cult member or an agent. In the case of Manson, there's no question he was an agent now. I mean, did he know he was an agent? That's questionable, actually, but he certainly was. There's no doubt about it now.
Well, there's certain traits too, like you notice, like for example, when you see these undercover cops, they always come into a group and they seem to know a little bit about everything. So no matter what it is you're talking about, they've done it, or they've had experience with it, or they know the buzzwords to say, the cool words, the words that are in maybe the rap videos or whatever. They try to talk like they're street or whatever, but you can totally tell, a lot of times because of the way that goes down. Because normally people, when they're, becoming friends, it's something that happens over a period of time. But you'll notice the same thing with con artists and fakes and perpetrators. It's the same thing, is they always want to tell you what they are. Okay, I'm a this, and see what I do? I'm a that, see what I do? So I'm this religion. I'm that religion,
they shortcut it.
Yeah, they shortcut it, and then they try to add a bunch of nonsensical stuff in there to make themselves sound exactly like you sound. So one of the key ingredients of a con or a con artist is the ability to hear people are saying and then mirror that back to them, so that they feel a sense of belonging, a sense of harmony between the two. You feel like you're somebody that you've known for a long time, like a really good friend. But, hey, we're coming up on the break. My name's Jimmy. It's Revolution Radio. It's late night style, old school, with me and the Epic Journeyman. And we're live on YouTube, and you can find us over at freedomslips.com/chat for the chat room. And it's lively. Everybody's rocking in the rafters over there. I'm not over there because I have too many windows open. If I open one more window, it'll all fall down like a house of cards, or like, what's that game, Jenga? Where you pull it out, you pull out the thing, and there you are, you're on the ground, a big pile of garbage.
Nice.
Yeah. I know.
Sounds like a cuss word. Jenga.
I know. Man, don't touch my Jenga. Hey, you know what? I was on my way to the studio, and I stepped in a big steaming pile of Jenga, and it ran up through my toes. So,
don't you Jenga me, man.
Don't you try to Jenga me, man. We're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not afraid of you running away, honey. I get the feeling you will. You see, there is no sense in pretend. Your eyes give you away. Something inside you is feeling like I do. You said all there is to say. Baby, break down.
All right, there we go. Come on back, Epic. Are you there?
I'm here.
Excellent. All right, well, we're rolling. We got the Con Man. Are you ready to go with some more stuff about Con Man on the other side?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Stand by.
And this just, some of the biggest cons ever are enduring because there's such good stories. And we'll get into that because people don't want to let the story go. It's too good a story, right?
That's right. And that's how you get Con. And that is definitely how you get Con. Hold on a second. Here we go. The psychology of con artists and how to avoid them. As long as this isn't a robot voice, I think we're golden. Hang on.
Flake. You find the con man. Go ahead.
The con man. The Sting. That was a good con.
Yeah, it was.
The Sting, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, hey, everybody over here on Into the Microcosm YouTube channel. It is super quiet. Hang on. All right. Maria Konnikova.
Might use to try to get us on their side. Unfortunately, it starts with getting us to like them. And this person is not to be trusted. But we can learn to recognize some of the persuasive techniques that people might use to try to get us on their side. Unfortunately, for baseball, this can't be a bad person.
Oh my God!
And now all of a sudden
I cannot take that chick's voice. Oh man!
She's like that doctor. She's like that doctor. It's on one of the mainstream news shows. It comes on.
Oh my God!
And she has a. Yeah, it's you can't listen to it.
I can't listen to it. Could you imagine waking up in the morning and hearing that? Oh man! I'm glad in my bed. I'm glad I'm single. I'm glad I'm single, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on a second. Oh my God!
Poor girl's probably one of our fans.
You know what, dude?
Sorry.
Check it out. Check it out, man. It's time to go, Joe. I got to go back. Oh man, we got problems now. Here we go.
Midnight, 2 a.m. time. Revolution Radio.
using a nasty new scam.
What's up? Podcast.
It's too late. It's too late to fall in love with Sharon Tate. It's too soon to ask me for the words on a card on my I think it's time that y'all start to think about getting by without that need to go out and find somebody to love. My name's Jimmy. There's no one left that I even want to imitate, Epic. And it's too late to fall in love with Sharon Tate, Epic. As you know, Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate, always a tasty morsel for any healthy con artist's dream, including LSD and hypnotism. So the con could be enhanced by drugs and hypnotism as well, but also the con can be enhanced by the dopamines that are released as a result of getting some satisfaction on the internet. You know, I was always wondering, there's so many users per hour on Pornhub. You know what I mean? There's so many users on Pornhub per hour. So, I mean, in a typical amount of time as they're on there is like 3 minutes. So I wonder, people are concerned about abortions. I mean, I wonder how many seeds have been sown out of there for no reason. And I wonder how many billions of people haven't been born because of Pornhub. My name's Jimmy. I'm pointing out the benefits of Pornhub to the New World Order's, depopulation agenda. Epic. It's a sinister world, isn't it not?
I didn't think Agenda 21 was going to be 210 seconds. That's what it's turned into, I guess. Yeah.
My name's Jimmy, and nothing's out of the reach of this show, ladies and gentlemen. We dive deep. We go where no man has gone before. And that's why a lot of people like tuning in, Epic, because it's hard to find something that you can relate to on the internet. A lot of times you hear a lot of the same things going around and around. It's like an echo chamber. It's like mockingbirds in the echo chamber, is it not? I mean, it's a lot of talking loud, saying nothing, Googling stuff, playing clips, reading articles. Where's the
keywords?
I need some meat. I'm just like a man. I'm like a man with a big appetite, and I'm in a world full of soup, and all I got in my hand is a fork, man. I need some substance to stick my fork into, man. Something I can really, really, chew on. Have you heard anything good? I mean, we're on the topic of shills, flakes, and perpetrators. What can you tell me, Epic, about the shills, flakes, perpetrators?
I kind of like your metaphor there, because it's like the average guy just knows it tastes good, right? So he goes to a restaurant and that cordon bleu tastes good. So he goes back and has that cordon bleu again. Doesn't know what's in it. And he finds out what's in it. It's like, let's learn more about the ingredients and the spices, right? Where it came from, right? And then all of a sudden you still like it maybe, right? But now you understand it, what it takes to make that dish, right? And once you understand it, maybe you don't like it as much. Or a better analogy in this case might be sausage, right? You maybe don't want to know how it's made, right? That's always a great analogy. Well, one of the great conspiracies and hoaxes of our time, and not saying everything's fake about it, but I'm just saying this is one of them, is the entire UFO community revolves around a guy named Gray Barker, right? I mean, Gray Barker is almost single-handedly responsible for the entire UFO phenomena. At least he propagated it more than anybody else. And he was a deliberate hoaxer. And with this guy named Jessup and a couple other guys, he's from West Virginia. And he is the guy responsible for creating Men in Black. He really advocate for this guy named George Adamski, who was this UFO contactee who supposedly was going to Venus all the time, knowing full well that he was a fake and a fraud, but he indulged him because it was like a big, to him it was just a hoax. It was fun. It was a big prank, right? He was a prankster. And so he wrote a bunch of books that knew too much about flying saucers was one that got him fame, right? He did a follow-up to that, and he wrote with these other guys who were also hoaxsters. That's what they were. So he created Mothman. And again, remember, he's from West Virginia, right? So he wrote about the Silver Bridge in 1970 in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. And then John Keel, who was a much better writer, actually, came along in 1975 and wrote the Mothman Prophecies. And I really enjoyed that book. That's a really captivating book. And then, so the enigma, the idea of the Men in Black and Mothman were born directly from Ray Barker, but with the added lyrical prose of John Keel, which made it, a spectacular, for that time, bestseller on the subject. And so it perpetuates the myth, right? And the myth becomes more important than the truth, right? So it's like that, man, that sausage tastes good, that sausage biscuit, whatever it was, but then when you find out how it's made, you're like, yeah, maybe it's not really that good for me, it's not really that good. And that the hoax is on you, right? You ate it, right?
Well,
so, I'm not saying the whole thing's fake either. I'm just saying that he's a great example of there's a hoaxer that.
Well, the thing is, if you're somebody out there that's trying to say that doesn't exist, it's something that people point at to say, look, I mean, this is a hoax. These guys are hoaxsters. I mean, what you're saying is a hoax too. I want to point out one of the biggest hoaxes, man, of all time. Okay. Do you know where I'm going? I don't know if you know what it is. You might have a different one, but to me, this is absolutely the biggest hoax of all time.
Of all time? I don't know. I have some candidates. Let's see.
Okay, well, mine is the Piltdown Man.
I was going to go there. Yep. Yeah, I know all about it. Yep.
So why don't you explain what the Piltdown Man is?
I'm just
well, the
riding
thing
my
is,
bike.
though, is that it's not only just the Piltdown Man, but it's the excavators themselves were actually related in a tight circle, and they were all Fabian socialists, man. Why don't you go in a little detail? The Piltdown Man is the story of evolution, and it is the bone that supposedly tied man to ape. Was it not, Epic?
Yes, it was the everybody was looking for the missing link. When Darwin wrote The Origin of Species, and it really caught on, and the idea of evolution caught on, and evolution is actually adaptation. I mean, Darwin preferred it to be called adaptation more than evolution. I think they kind of coined that term. But the bottom line is you couldn't find a link from the lesser ape-like man to the modern man. There was no link. So one day they're out there doing some kind of excavations and stuff, and they supposedly find this skull, and it's got the jaw of an ape, and it's got the skull of a man. Like, there it is. It's the missing link, right? And this is before they had good, like, they didn't have DNA testing or anything like that, obviously, right? So there's no way to do it that way. It's just by the structure, and people bought into it wholesale, man. They bought into it. It was probably one of the most successful hoaxes of all time, actually.
And it was proven fake.
Feels really good.
The proven fake part never got promoted in heavy rotation in the media, so no one ever found out that. Just like Sirhan being let out, being let out. No one ever heard about that. You know what I mean? So the same thing with this now.
And there's like
Darwin.
He was in
a whole way of
Darwin was directly related to Freud.
How to look for the signs of a bad person. So I think
that's the
good podcast.
What is it? They're a cousin or something? Yeah, they are. I believe that they are.
Right.
Yeah,
and they're both Fabian socialists, right? And so, but the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, listen. The human body. I mean, what goes on in the human body on a daily basis? Okay, it has nothing to do with evolution. I mean, the human body and everything that it does on a daily basis, the computerized, the energy transfer, the transmutation of intake into something else, every little thing that we do fuels some part of what we are internally. And so, like, it's the same thing as if I put all the parts to a Rolex in a brown paper bag and shook it up and had it make a Rolex for me, Epic, that's the chances of the human being evolved from apes.
Right, yeah. And supposedly, like, this was 1908, right? And then I'd have to look up the date, so forgive me for that one. I did look up the date. So, but yeah, they found that, and then they found a second one later, after it had already been proven a hoax. And they said, well, see, it is real, right? But it turns out they finally got some paleontologists and zoologists to look at it, and they correctly identified it as chimpanzee teeth, human skull, and an ape's or orangutan's jaw. So it's just all thrown together, you know, and because people want to believe. See, that's the thing. They wanted to believe it. And it's kind of funny when you think about it in context. Why do you want to believe so hard in evolution this way? I mean, why? I mean, it's either true or it isn't. I mean, there's no question adaptation is true. Things do adapt, change over time. But, you know, do we come from apes? Well, why do you have to prove that? I mean, why is that important to anybody? Really, it shouldn't be.
Well, the thing about it, the thing about it is, too, is like what we're talking about is that you actually have people that think the book that Darwin wrote is the story of evolution, but it's not. The book's called The Origin of the Species, and evolution is only part of what he has in the book. And there's a whole part in there about de-evolution too, isn't there, Epic? It's a whole part about de-evolution that's just as important as anything he said about evolution. And I think in the times that we're living in and what I'm seeing across the board, I think de-evolution is on the table. What do you think? I mean, it's like
I think it is. Like and Darwin himself was actually, he believed in God. You know, it wasn't some like atheist. So that's the thing too. They you know, those Scopes monkey trial, right? Scopes. No, I'm sorry, not Scopes. Snope. They got me all effed up, man, because of stupid Snopes, right? I had it right the first time, I think. Monkey trial. They totally made it look that way, like he was some, you know, guy trying to take down Christianity, or so there was a war of religion against science, and it was nowhere near that. It wasn't meant that way at all. Now, his dad was an esotericist and did set him up. He was a very wealthy man and set him up on the Beagle with his own lab. Like 3/4 of the ship was just his lab. You know, he had basically himself for all practical purposes and sent him out there. But those were incredible finds. I mean, those finches with their beaks being different in different islands because of what they were eating, and the different development of the shell in the Galapagos tortoises because of the low, you know, grass like foraging ones, and the ones that had to reach up higher for the stuff on bushes, and how the shell adapted, and the necks were longer on one island than the other. Right. I mean, that's true. He didn't make that up. That's a great observation.
Yeah, it's a great observation, but it doesn't have anything to do with the human biocomputer. You know, walking around vibrating at the frequency of the earth, putting your feet down, and feeling that earth coming up through you, man. Been feeling the earth coming up through me here in California the last couple of days. I mean, there's been some intensive energy flow going through these mountains. There hasn't really been much shaking here, but there's been shaking around California. So, you know, so the Piltdown Man, a giant hoax. When you're, let me ask you a question. So, when you have something called the Fabian Socialist Society, and this is, you know, prior to there really being any electronic media. This is when you have a group of people with a certain idea. They're all separate writers. They're all writing separate stories, but the stories that they're writing seem, for whatever reason, to be going along a certain line. They have a certain sort of storyline that they're following, right? So go ahead. You know, the Fabian Socialists were an important group. They still are. And they're relevant to the conversation today because, I mean, one of the books I want to talk about is Animal Farm. But
yeah, well, they totally were leaning towards, well, it was a form of socialism, obviously, that's in the name, but not in the way a lot of people think. It was a technocracy. Before technocracy came along, that's really what they're angling for. And they just didn't know, they didn't have a name for it yet. That came along later, but that's really what it was. Science controlled, you know, by the learned men society, right? Where everybody else, you know, let those who knew what they were doing run the government, basically. But that's not really cool because who gets to choose who knows what they're doing, right? Like once they're in power, they stay in power, and that's the basis of things like what we're going to get into.
4 legs.
Yeah, H.G. Wells, you know, famous Fabian socialist.
Yeah, 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. My name's Jimmy. I got 2 legs, and I'm standing up tall for what I believe in. Every Friday night, right here on Revolution Radio at 11 p.m. Pacific. We hang out here for 2 hours, man. We bring what we got to the table. We like to, everybody likes it when people show up with a big picnic basket and filled with goodies, right, Epic? So we're
Hey, boo-boo.
Hey, boo-boo, you get a boo-boo, zoo. And so...
That's good. Yeah, right.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about tonight is the big con, and there's a lot of con artists on the internet. There's a lot of people are selling snake oil, and I'm not to say that the people that aren't, people that are really doing good work out there, there are. And there are some good journalists out there. There still are a few, but it's not like it used to be, is it, Epic? I mean, really, these writers and these investigative reporters and all this, they really don't exist like they used to. I mean, there's there's no real standout people that you can say, there's a guy who he's really exposing something, or he's really doing something.
No, they sold out, and the ones that didn't sell out are dead. I mean, that's no joke. The guys who were really doing some stand-up journalism, investigative journalism, a lot of those guys are dead now. I mean, they mysteriously died under mysterious circumstances, right? And then, or were suicided with 3 bullet holes in the back of the head, kind of thing. And then they look at guys who were.
They didn't die.
Like Geraldo Rivera, right? He's sold out.
Well, they didn't die because they were reading articles off Drudge in an undisclosed location on the internet. No, I didn't think so. Yeah, no, Hastings is one that I think of. The guy in the Benz who went, blew up or whatever recently. The guy that
Richard Clark said that was done with technology. They hijacked his car. Yeah, the BMW. It was he went to his neighbor pleading to borrow her car. And Michael Hastings, yeah, and he was writing an article about the CIA and about what's his name, Petraeus, I believe it was. Don't quote me on Petraeus, one of the generals in charge at the time in the Iraq War, and it was in CIA. And he ended up, I'm pretty sure it must have been Petraeus, but maybe not. You can look it up. I'm going off memory here, no Google here, right? So anyway, but General Richard Clark, who was National Security Advisor at the time, said within basically hours of it happening that could totally be done remotely to hijack a car's CAN bus. And they've been working on that in the Intelligence Committee for a long time, so that could absolutely be what killed him. He didn't say it is what killed him, but he brought it up, you know what I mean? So there you go. I mean, he knew about it back when it happened.
So what happens when doing investigative reporting ends up with your car getting hijacked and blown up into a tree? What happens to the alternative media when you talk about certain subjects and you get banned on YouTube and you get demonetized? What happens? People start changing the conversation, and they stop talking about the stuff they used to talk about, and they start talking about things that the algorithm's not going to hit. They start going safe. They start talking about stuff that's not provable by anybody. The more outrageous it is, the more clicks they get, So, as long as the clicks keep coming in, then the dollars keep rolling in too. Because they're not that much. It's not that much, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta have a lot of people, scrolling your channel to make any real money. But the point is that that's a way to get people to self-censorship, ladies and gentlemen. And the self-censorship isn't a con in of itself, right? Because anything you're saying on YouTube, if you really had a pair and you really had something you wanted to say and you really thought you were getting hammered, you could go have your own website and people have to pay to come over there and come and get your information. Like say for example, what goes on in Texas. He got censored off the internet, but it's probably the best money bomb he ever got, because everybody felt like he was getting censored and he was like a poor old, Mr. Jones, you know what I mean? He doesn't have enough for an extra, whatever. So
can't rub 2 nickels together, poor guy.
Exactly. So it gets harsh over there because it's such a big operation, ladies and gentlemen. You got to raise a lot of money this thing going, because you've got to get the word out, man. I'd have to say, wouldn't you say, Epic? The conspiracy world's been around for a super long time. It's almost at this point, it's like a board game. You start off over there, you go around the board, and each square has something in it, and you learn about this and you learn about that. You thought you knew everything then, but then you found out about the other thing that you didn't know about, and now you realize you spent, a bunch of time thinking something that wasn't even remotely true. And so that has a lot to do with the confusion and the trying to have the human brain entertain two diametrically opposed points at the same time to keep you in a state of fog and confusion. Epic, are you there?
I am here. They call that the fog of war. Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. So anybody's ever been in the military, you learn about the fog of war, especially if you're a combat troop kind of thing, but you're just not really explained other than the confusion aspect of it, what it really means. It just means that you don't have the intel, the knowledge. You can't see through the smoke to see what's coming at you, right? And that's what this fog of war in the alternative media and in the media in general is. It throws a red herring deliberately your way, which was big time. That's what old spies used to do. I mean, going way back, and really peaked in World War I, World War II. I mean, it's the point of even that soldier with papers and stuff saying they're going to invade the wrong spot on France, right, to get the Germans confused. This poor guy died, and they sent him off there and let him wash ashore on purpose to make a big ruse. So it's about that. You're grasping for any kind of fog of war. You want any kind of intelligence. You want it's like literally being in fog. You want to see any light you can go and steer towards, and that's what they take advantage of. That's how the con works, right? That's how the ruse works. And we have them for a long time, and the people who point it out, sometimes it's good, and sometimes it just becomes another asset, in the fog. It's steering you in the wrong direction. It's the train coming out the other way instead of the lighthouse,
And you come in talking about it, and you're the guy with the pin to blow up the big balloon because there's so much, do you know what new car smell is when you get in a new car? Everybody loves the smell of a new car, don't they? I know I do. I mean, what about you, Epic? You love the smell of a new car?
Right. It's designed that way, but I like it too.
Yeah, it's designed that way, ladies and gentlemen, because that new car smell, that's what that is ether. That's right, ether. And so what happens when you get ethered on something, man? You're ready to buy. You're throwing buying signals. So you're in that car, man. It's the same as if that car salesman poured some handkerchief and put it up to your face and made you put it up there and breathe it in and breathe it out.
Narcotic,
yeah, exactly. Sure. Puts you in a weird state of mind, and you're suggestible, you're hyper, you've taken mental ownership of that vehicle, you adjusted the mirror, you put the seat in just the right place, you tuned your stereo in just right, got everything set up, you took mental ownership of that car, you got all ethered. Now you're coming back, you're going to buy the car, and what's the first thing the guy does, Epic? He takes your keys away.
Because he can't drive off on your own.
No, he takes your keys away because it's not your car, it's his car. And until he gives you it's still his car. So he's taking control. I mean, this is a training technique. This is these individuals are trained in these techniques to make you go a certain direction. And
it closes in sales.
Right. So, yeah. I mean, there's nothing about it that's organic, ladies and gentlemen. We are celebrating the color tonight, or the lack of color. Here comes the average white band. Oh! Get it.
I am right, man.
Cut the cake. I want a little piece, baby. You know what I mean. Cut the cake. Give me a little piece. Some love on the side. Cut the cake. I want a little piece. You can keep me satisfied. Go down. All right, man.
You remember that song, Epic? Cut the cake.
I remember all two of Average White Band songs.
Yeah,
got ready to play. Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah,
Cut the Cake and Schoolboy Crush. Yeah, mine's Jimmy. we're talking about the con man, the big con, the con beyond the con, the man behind the guy behind the guy epic, right? I mean, the thing about the internet, what the thing is about the internet is people don't realize is here, the internet is a scientific machine specifically developed to show buying signals on the back end to somebody. You are sending buying signals, whatever it is, ladies and gentlemen. If it's a Christian preacher and he's preaching on there about something, and you're on there chatting about it, and liking it, and sharing it, and all that stuff, man, it's saying to that algorithm, is saying, yeah, person really enjoys this type of talk and this type of idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed this person in their feed bag, epic, put on the feed bag, and get emotionally prodded just like Skinner box on the internet. When the con, you are so ripe for the con. They know when to hit you with the con, and they know exactly what con to hit you with because you sent buying signals a million times and never realized it. Go ahead.
Yeah, Skinner boxes, I think I brought it up on the show before, but for those who may have read any of my Reddit stuff back in the day when I used to make long posts on Reddit, which we'll get into that a little bit, about the psyop that is in so many ways. But, in a con, there was a con on Reddit actually. But you think I hate psychologists, right? That I hate psychology. And literally some of my best friends are psychologists. So, I mean, that's not the case. But it's not a science, man. It is not. I'll argue that every day.
Well, I'll tell you what.
The only reason it's called a science is because specifically of Skinner boxes.
I'll tell you what it is.
It's the only thing.
I'll tell you what is a science. What is a science is we're about to go to a break. Stick around. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be right here, right now. We might not be Mr. Rights, but we're definitely Mr. Rights now. And that's me and Epic Journeyman over there on Speculation Island. I'm up here in the Santa Cruz Mountains in the deep, dark night. And, oh, wait a minute. Is the dark night, is that... Hold on a second. I think it's the dark night. Okay, they are gone, and we are here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am.
All right, so, sweet. I need to go grab a cup of coffee here real quick. Let me put something on for the people. And, hang on. I have returnus. Hey, man. Hey, dude, have you ever seen those t-shirts that says, love sees no color? I don't think you're there. Epic, all you law. No? Okay. You're muted if you are. Anyways, it should say love sees all color, not love sees no color. Anyway. My name's Jimmy, and I'm just hanging over here doing nothing with you guys over in the chat. What's up, Connie? What's up, Leslie? What's up, Luna? What's up, Kenny? It's Evil Man. What's up, Joey? Let's see who else is over there. I don't see anybody else. Where are you guys at? Oh, there you are. Yep, good to see you. I'm gonna have to go over in the Revolution. Hey, Lewis, what's going on? I have to go over in the Revolution Radio chat room, I think, at some point here. But we'll see. Epic, are you back? All right, dude. Well, time to go back. So hopefully you come back at some point.
Indicating that there were giants before this and sons of God plural. They weren't talking about Jesus coming down. No, that's right. I'm Steve Crawford, host of Factor 3 Live. Join me every Sunday night from 10 p.m. till midnight Eastern Standard Time on Revolution Radio and freedomslips.com. Check it out.
Can anybody hear me? Is anybody out there? My name's Jimmy. It's Revolution Radio. I'm celebrating the lack of color. That's right. Hopefully you're not dancing around biting your lower lip with your elbows and your fists going up in the air. My name's Jimmy. I'm sending elbows and throwing fists all night long. Or at least for another hour, 60 minutes. Epic journeyman. All you are.
Stop throwing my fists up in the air.
Nice.
Yeah, man. That's a good tune, man. You know.
I know. I know.
I mean, it's giving Sun Ra a run for his money there.
I know that. Well, hey, my name's Jimmy. It's in
he has a better costume, though. Sorry.
Yeah, he does. But that's a good album cover, though. With the eating of the cherry in a seductive manner. It sort of seduced me to the record bin, and I pulled it out, and I spent my $15.95, whatever it was back in the day, for that record. And I didn't buy the record, but I'm just saying, I mean, it's really the sex sells. It's really the ultimate con, is it not? I mean, when you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, the world is built specifically on the consumption of goods based around trying to attract the opposite sex. So they got you believing if you wear them jeans just right and you grow yourself a beard and you get yourself some long hair and put it up in a little bun on top of your head and you eat kale and you drink soy milk, that somehow that's masculine.
You gotta have that Burger King vegetable burger. You have to have that. It's with estrogen burger. It's got like 1 million times estrogen doses. But I mean, they say that. I don't know if that's true. I've seen like 5 articles now saying the incredibly high estrogen content of those incredible burgers.
Well, and believe me, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with eating kale or drinking soy milk if that's what you want to do. It's all up to you.
No, man, there's something wrong with eating kale. I'm so weak. We out of food? What's going on here?
Man, the thing is, I don't eat kale. As a matter of fact, I don't eat any leafy green vegetables at all because I live on the West Coast, and all that radiation seems to build and drop down on the dew in the morning off the fog on all them leafy green vegetables that grow so fast they get filled with the thing that shall not be named. Accident. Hey, what do you think about this? I'll just throw this in here real quick at the top of the hour. We're just kind of hanging out over here at revolution.radio, freedomslips.com, the #1 listener-supported radio network in the world on beyond the ether space. You can mosey on over to the Patreon. Right on the top, you can mosey on in there. You can make a monthly donation, or you can pop down to the Zazzle store, grab yourself some coffee cups, T-shirts, key rings. I don't even know what's in there, but whatever's in there, believe me, it's worth it because you can support the network and you can sit there with something physical in your hand. So, Epic, the driving of a population, they used to actually have a long story and, a whole con going on. And then you can also go, I forgot about down at the bottom, there is a place where you can send Lady Horse a physical letter and make a donation that way. And if you don't have anything to donate, your good vibes, your good energy, you can share, you can like, whatever it is that you can do to show your support. We appreciate every single bit of it. And that's what gets us here, coming in and, making a presentation. So before we got here, we had the picnic basket. We were putting the good food on the table for everybody. We're laying it out, Epic. And I see you on break. You carved up some of that dry salami. That's good. Epic. Is the world not built? I mean, why do you go to college to make a bunch of money? Isn't it so you can find the right lady and get married, or find the right man and get married, or whatever that might be, whatever your particular attraction is? You want to be as attractive as possible for whatever reason. Your outward appearance needs to be a certain way, so you project a certain kind of lifestyle. In other words, you got the $500,000 McMansion, you're driving the Benz 300, you got the Suburban for your wife, your kid's taking a karate class or whatever. You know what I mean? You're doing the whole thing. You got it going on. You're renting a lifestyle. You're living the life of a middle manager. You're what you would call the house slave. It's like the middle manager. You're not the field slave. You're the house slave with your vibe because you're tied to it.
But right? You're still the laughing stock of the master, right? Because you're imitating. And that show we did on masks, it talked all about that. That's exactly right. You're being led to, just like the masquerades they had in Venice that went on for a year at a time because they kept doing it. You could put on a mask, you could pretend you're aristocracy, you could mingle with them and think that you were anonymous, but you didn't know the right bow to take, accompanying suit to wear, not suit, but attire to wear to go with it, that said your real station. So they all laughed at you, right? Because you were still being socially steered and engineered even back then, right? And what did they do to them? You're just something to play with. You're a toy, right? But to you, it's like you're achieving that station. You're that dangling carrot. You think you're going to get it, and you never do.
Well,
right?
And the thing is too, though, man, is that the things that are important on the difference between pleasure and happiness, right? The things that make happiness don't cost money. Going for a walk with your significant other, taking your dog for a walk, hanging out with a baby. Doing whatever, the things that really generate a happiness, and that's serotonin. And pleasure is dopamine, and everything for pleasure costs money, So we've been programmed to be pleasure seekers by the system. And so by seeking that pleasure, that is basically what fuels the world's economy. I mean, seriously, think about it. if everybody could just be who they were, and you liked each other because of what kind of a human being you were, instead of what kind of clothes you were wearing, or what kind of haircut you had, or how how you roll in your ride, or how you lean off to the side with a gangster lean or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like whatever it is, wearing the black leather jacket, or, riding the bike, whatever it is that makes you a rebel or whatever. It's like even that, no matter even how you look at it, even that was a propagation of some sort of a thing. In other words, the original rebels, the Marlon Brandos, the James Deans, that was James Dean was the beginning of the self-help era when you think about it, because he was some damaged youth, struggling against the restraints of his parents.
I need a glass. I can't drink this milk out of the carton.
Exactly.
Right.
So the thing is, though, no, man, anybody's leaning back, combing their hair with some grease in it, with a black leather jacket on it, trying to, ride their bike or whatever. It's all, based on the movie The Wild One. I mean, it's like everybody attunes to whatever it is character that they identify with. And once you've identified, let me highlight that word, identified. Identification is the key ingredient. Because once you identify, you have been identified. And once the algorithm has identified you, then based on your data, you're pretty much 99.9% predictable, epic, and driving people and places and things is not a hard thing at all, is it? I mean, it's a matter of just deciding how they want to move you and moving you in that direction, no?
Yeah, and it's a great tie back to where we left off for the break, and I was talking about Skinner boxes being the only replicatable, let me say that right, thing in mixed psychology of science, right? Because minus torture and minus Pavlovian reinforcement with pain and torture in some way, right? The only thing that you can replicate in psychology, short of killing people with doses of drugs or electricity or whatever, it is in absolutely replicated behavior, is a Skinner box. And what is that? That's a race to reward that we nicknamed in the 50s the rat race, right? And so that's absolutely correct. And so the thing is, we still fall into that. But the thing that's been added with the drugs and with the social engineering to accompany it is the idea of projection. The idea that identity, call it identity politics nowadays, because everything's, but the idea of identity, you identify with something, you project on that what you want to see, right? And you're still being steered because they know that you're projecting. You've been identified, like you said, that as one who projects that image on this, whatever it may be, this whether it's a person or this, it could be anything, right? But a lot of times nowadays.
So for example, you go to, so it used to be that if you went to Drudge every day to look at the news, you identified with the politics on Drudge, which was, for the most part, generally conservative, right? So you identified with the conservative values, and so now you are profiled as a conservative, thereby being fed the sugar cookies, throwing you the sugar cookies and getting you hyped up, moving in a direction. And it seems like whatever direction they have you moving in, it's always the opposite direction that somebody else is going in. This way we're always pulling against each other. It's like a giant tug of war. 4 years of this, 4 years of that, 8 years of this, 4 years of that, 4 years of that, 8 more years of this. Back and forth, and the bottom line is the plan still moves forward. They just market the con to a different group of people. So and your team's not on the field, you're disgruntled, you're yelling, you're calling the whoever it is the Antichrist or whatever. I mean, it always happens, no matter who it is. At some point they become the Antichrist for the opposite army, the army of the opposite direction. But meanwhile, the general plan is still moving forward. And when they say trust the plan, it ain't the plan you think it is. It's the plan that's been moving forward since what we were talking about earlier, the Fabian Socialist Society, talking about a technocratic society in the future, talking about old communistic society, talking about what did we do a major show on beginning dude. It was Metropolis. And we were showing how this movie, this silent, futuristic film, Metropolis, was pretty much dictating the future that we're looking at, the dystopic future that we've all heard about. And this is a two-class society, the workers and the thinkers, right? Epic.
Which is what technocracy is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And so people who adhere to the principles of technocracy is an energy-based system. It's based on the energy put in it. So there's no currency the way we think of currency today. It's about credit. It's essential, right? And so, but the thing is, who dictates what kind of energy should be used and what the energies? Well, the thinkers do, right? The scientists, the technocrats. Well, that is a system once in place will never be broken. It will never be broken because what it has the technology to control not only the system itself, but the minds of the people in it. And I mean that literally. That's not a joke. That's not an exaggeration. That is real. That is cognitive liberty, and that's what's at stake here. And that's happening as we speak, right? While we're sitting here distracted by all this other nonsense, the infrastructure is being built around us, right? All around us. It's in our house right now. If you have an Alexa or you have a Google Assistant, or if you are hooked up even to the internet itself most of the time, if you're driving a car with a chip in it, you are part of the system. That infrastructure is revolving around you. It's in your house, it's in your vehicle, it's in your workplace, it's everywhere, right? And the thing is, it's not some conspiracy theories. They use that in the 60s to get people from stopping to talk about it because, it worked, right? It was the best psyop of all time. It worked for 50 years, right? But now we're waking up to it, but we're too distracted by other things, and they know that. They know how to distract people. When I say they, I just mean the technocrats, right? The people who have had this plan all along.
And there's a common goal and a common theme that runs throughout all people, throughout the whole world. Everybody wants the same thing. Everybody wants peaceful life. Everybody wants abundance. Everybody wants to be able to be happy and do their thing, and everybody's got that in common. But for some reason, all we seem to find is the differences, and we don't see the similarities. Because I think if you started making a list of the similarities and the differences, you'd start to find out that there's a lot of similarities between a lot of these groups that are pointed at each other in a weaponized way through the dopamine squirts they get off their Facebooks and whatnots and their news articles. And I was talking to a friend of mine today, John Brisson from We Read the Documents, and I was talking to him, and I said, well, yeah, man, I mean, Drudge sells those links. When Drudge puts a link up at the top and it's in red, he sells those links. I mean, he didn't put that there because he thought it was really important. He put it there because somebody paid him a bunch of money to get a red link. Alex Jones used to buy those red links all the time. As a matter of fact, that's where I learned about it. When he was doing it. So, Drudge has clearly, been taken over and now is propagating a different idea. But like I said earlier, realistically, it's you're just marketing to a different segment of the population while your team is on the field. You'll obstruct the other team in the House, in the Senate. You'll do everything you stymie any of the things you really don't want to get forward, even though the guy goes out there and says, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but then everybody just sits back and stymies him the whole time and he never gets it done. And you voted for him, but it's not his fault. They were stymieing me. I tried, but, there was all them. This was the sickest of the scapegoat, right? So the con is on, ladies and gentlemen. How much time do we have left to be free roaming, free range humans? I don't know, Epic, but I do know this. They seem to be driving us in a direction, and it's not a direction I'm particularly interested in going in. I mean, at this point, there's so many positive things that we could be doing rather than being mucked down with all this stuff, and this mask thing and everything that's going on doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon. And honestly, I mean, I think that whole part of it is also part of the game. It's also part of the conditioning and part of the getting us trained for some time in the future where things don't look like they look now. They look a little different, like what people thought was going to happen the first time. And then it's going to be cried wolf, right? And there's going to be all these people running around. I mean, these certain peoples are down or going down party lines. This mask thing is turned into a I'm a conservative.
Political thing, yeah.
Right, but what's really dangerous about that is at some point when this thing becomes something else, like COVID-20 or COVID-21, maybe they'll make it so anybody who's not will just be. I mean, it'd be pretty easy to get rid of people that way. But same thing with the vaccine.
It died of COVID-21, yeah. For sure.
It's the same thing with the vaccines. It's like you got all these people in the alternative media that are so afraid of the vaccines and all this stuff that if a vaccine pops up, they won't take it. So, I mean, if you knew that, then you'd know that then have the vaccine be real, and anybody that was taking it, they stay safe, and anybody that didn't take it, they're gone. You know, so I mean, look how easy it is. It's literally a joke. And this is the most hideous, insidious way to do it is with this these biological agents, Epic, because it does create a panopticon situation.
Oh, it totally does.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you know, I do want to point out something about vaccines. We eradicated smallpox, the bane of mankind, for thousands of years through vaccines, through vaccination. We eradicated smallpox in the wild. That was the thing that killed more people than anything else in the world, going back as far as biblical times, right? When it says without marker, whatever in the Bible is talking about smallpox, right? It's been with us that long. And so, you know, I mean, we remember the bubonic plague and all these other things, but it was just kind of a given that smallpox was going to kill a third of the world's population, right? Like when people wore that makeup, that funky white makeup, and wore wigs, you know why? Because there were pockmarks so bad in medieval times, right? Especially his heyday then, and it wiped out most of the world, the New World. It killed all the indigenous people. So if that ever gets loose, it'll kill a third of the world's population within 3 months. That is a real threat, and if that ever gets out, we better damn well be vaccinated, right? However, right? What they're doing right now, the vaccines they give us for flu shots and stuff are bullshit. That is not a lie. That's true. You can look at how effective they are. They have charts. The World Health Organization and other websites will show you how effective they've been. A lot of these things are like 18% effective. Is that worth risking? I don't think it's worth risking, right? And what they're doing with this COVID-19 thing is a problem because they're working using CRISPR-9 technology, gene editing technology, to expedite the process. So instead of having antigens, which is a dead virus shell, it's a protein like the shell that the virus lived in, right? And so it's dead, and that's an accurate and good vaccine. It'll be immune to that, right? Because your body will be able to fight that off with its own antibodies. But this CRISPR-9 gene therapy, it's a genetic technology. That's horrible. I mean, unless you know for a fact you're not getting that, how could you possibly take that? I won't take it. I don't want to get COVID-19, but you better assure me that it's an antigen made, biologically and not gene edited, or I'm not taking it. No way. Right? And that's where we're at. I mean, how's the average Joe going to know the difference?
I think realistically, like if you started to get in a conversation like this about it, you really got to get into the whole conversation. It's got to be like a 360 degree conversation. Because there's a bunch of these antivirals, Draco is one of the ones we brought up, that they're working in a way that is new and maybe something that may be viable. But the thing is the baby's going to get thrown out with the bathwater because there's so much of overwhelming information. I mean, I was doing some research on fake news recently, and I saw that fake news travels 6 times faster on the internet than the truth. The truth moves super slow, and fake news moves fast because it's so seductive, and it's and the storylines are so good that it moves really fast. And so when you hear people say, "Oh man, you can't make this stuff up," yeah, you can. There's plenty of great writers. A lot of them were in the fake socialist society, weren't they? They made a bunch of stuff up, and everybody uses that stuff as reference material for what's going on today, don't they? They made it up, didn't they? Or did
yeah, that's
they?
true. I mean, the H.G. Wells absolutely did, and so he was a great writer. I mean, he, Things to Come, though, is about, air power projected over the planet for global democracy. He told you about it. I mean, that's the thing, it's not like, none of this stuff is hidden at all. None of this is. There are books written about all of this, right? Written by the, pillars of the community and the intellectual community at the time that stand up to the test of time. They're available to anyone. I mean, they're nobody wants to read them because they're 1,400 or 2,000 pages long and fine print, but they're real. They've been there. They've been always available, right? So it's not like they're hiding what the projected plan is. They tell you straight up. When Brzezinski wrote the stuff he wrote, his daughter's on MSNBC right now at Morning Joe. Did you think that? And I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. This isn't a political thing. I'm just saying that that's the family, right? Where that she comes from. He told you all about it. He did. Tragedy and hope. That tells you all about it too. So it's not like it was ever hidden in the first place. It's just that nobody wanted to believe it was true.
That's right. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Is like, if you believe X, Y, Z, this other guy's theory is not the one that you believe in, then he's a bullshitter, right? I mean, no matter what he has to say, if he has something good to say about vaccines, well, listen, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. There's vaccines without adjuvants in them that you can get. I mean, you can request vaccines without adjuvants, but I don't have children, so I don't have to make that decision. Lots of people do, though, and it's an important one, and you should make sure you check out both sides of the story before you make a decision. My name's Jimmy.
I had a dream last night. I was piloting a plane, and all the passengers were drunk and insane. Crash landed in a Louisiana swamp. Shot out, boy, the zombies, but I come out on top. What's it all about? Guess it just affects my mood. Sitting in the dirt, feeling kind of hurt. But all I hear is doom and gloom. And all is darkness in my room. Through the light, your face I see.
All right, there we go. We're out of there. Epic, are you there?
I am here.
Nice. Okay.
The syphilis and the smallpox haven't gotten to me yet. The genetically GMO created vaccine hasn't turned me into a cyborg yet.
Nice. Hang on a second. Here we go, man. This should be good. I'm gonna play this. Hang on. Make sure I get it queued up. Okay, there we go. Okay, stand by. Gotta get some music. Let's see what we got here. So many people we got listening. Let's see here. I'm refreshing.
Cleveland.
I'm refreshing it. It's like we got 600 people on Revolution Radio listening. Sweet. All right, hang on a second. I gotta get some music. I got 2 minutes. Stand by. Glad everybody's here. Good to see everybody over there in the chat skis. Super stoked on you. We really appreciate you being here. And I got 2 minutes still. All right. You want to hear Million Miles Away or Spellbinder or Star Rider?
I turned myself off. Star Rider.
Star Rider. All right. Star Rider.
Just listen to that on the submarine, man. Yeah, listen to that when I was going to bed.
Hey, you know what I was thinking about? You remember that episode of Star Trek where one guy's got black on one side of his face and white on the other?
I tried to bring that up last week, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I didn't get it. Fred Gorsh one.
Yeah, that was a good one, man.
The Riddler. Yeah, the Riddler.
Yeah, that was a good one. Hang on. All right, hang on. we're gonna get hosed because I didn't sound check none of these songs, so I don't know if we're gonna get hosed on any of them. So we'll see. All right, we're ready to rock and roll, man. I gotta get Zach Wild to bone out on. All right, hang on. Gotta go back. Time has come. We must return. There we go.
The Ultimate Remedy with LB Port. Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern. Right here on Revolution Radio.
Hey guys, Scorpio here. Join me every Saturday at 2 p.m. here on Studio A for the Scorpio Conspiracy Show, where we discuss the hidden agendas that impact our lives and uncover the secret societies and the shadowy elite who construct the reality that we are supposed to believe. So be there Saturdays, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, here on Studio A on Revolution Radio, and learn what's really going down.
A little honey on the low highway. Plenty for another on the low highway. They killed Dirty Don McGee on the low highway.
We're riding down the boulevard. We're riding through the dark night. With carpet tank and empty heart. Pretending we're in love until the night. As the sirens fill the lonely air. Oh, how did we get here now? We see a storm is closing in. Pretending we get. Don't say a word while we dance with the devil. You brought fire to a world so cold. We're out of time on the highway to never. Hold on.
My name's Jimmy. It's into the microcosm. It's Friday night going into Saturday morning. That's right. We're social engineering the alternative media one show at a time, ladies and gentlemen. The YouTubers who want to steal material for shows, they know which channel to come to, don't they, Epic?
I stole a ride on a passing star, not knowing where I was going, how near or how far. Through years of life, lands of future and past, until the heavenly gates were sighted at last.
That's right. Don't forget, we are the #1 listener-supported radio network on the face of the plane and beyond. Epic Journeyman is surfing the square wave on Speculation Island. FibSlips.com. Revolution.radio. My name's Jimmy.
Posing a nasty new scam that Northern lights flashed by.
Good evening and welcome to the first and maybe only racial draft here in New York City. Folks, this is for all the marbles. What happens here will state the racial standing of these Americans once and for all.
That's right. And the crowd is here to support their racism. Well, Rob, some of the biggest names in sports and in entertainment are on the line tonight, and I'm excited to see who's going to be drafted by which race. Seated behind me on the stage there, the various representatives, and believe it or not, the blacks have actually won the first pick.
Wow, that's the first lottery a black person's won in a long time, Billy.
Yes, and they'll probably still complain.
Man, thank you. Well, the black representative heading to the microphone now. Why don't we take a listen?
Bring it back, delegation. Backward.
No surprises there. The richest and most dominant athlete in the world. His father, black. His mother, Thai. Well, it doesn't matter anymore because now he is officially black. Dave, the Asians have got to be upset.
There's no question about that, Robert. But you gotta think about it. He's been discriminated against in his time. He's had death threats, and he dates a white woman. Sounds like a black guy to me. How you taking the state exam? He asked me. Wow. Looking blacker already?
I'd like to say it's a tremendous opportunity for me. Finally be part of a race, have a home. Been so confused by Kappa Calais and so many things. So long, fried rice. Hello, fried chicken. I love you, Dad. I always wanted to say this. For shizzle.
Sometimes I feel I am getting kind of low. Thoughts I am thinking are the reason. So I try to remember without talking to myself. Things that I said or maybe things that I felt about you. Sitting in a corner of a crowded barroom. People all around me and I still feel alone. Just when I know I'm gonna break down and cry, someone brings in a drive that.
There goes another love song epic. The Outlaws, man. Man, I just
You're gonna be mad at that plague going away.
I'll tell you what, man. You know what? The Dixie Chicks are not chicks. They have to dump. I swear.
That's worse, isn't it?
I know.
Isn't that worse? Yeah.
Well, where's
Don't
the
do that.
Yeah, where's the feminists, man? You know what I mean? I mean, they made. I know they made a big mistake when they came out and they talked against George Bush, didn't they? And then they got hammered with that. So they were trying to be.
So as a sailor, I'm sorry to interrupt. As a sailor, you know, we didn't have to wear in submarines uniform, or we wore tennis shoes, what they call poopy suits for Polaris operations, like these jumpsuits, kind of like belong in Logan's Run or something. But it's the dazzle. But you know, but when you went ashore, you had to wear your Navy uniform, and one of the things you wear is your hat. It's called a Dixie cup. What's that going to be called now? Just the cups? That ain't cool.
I don't know, man. I don't know. In the future, there won't be any armies. There'll just be robots. You know. Or,
well, that's what happened.
Yeah, and then the robots. Then you just go to the incinerator when your number comes up. Like your robot gets killed in a war. It's got your number on it. Then you got to go down and show up to the incinerator, to the wellness center, and go get your incineration at the incinerator. My name's Jimmy. We're incinerating. We're burning fuel. We're moving on through the night. We're trying to whisper. We're trying to whisper in the mountains. And, you know, up here when we're doing the show, and I'm sitting here rattling off, I live in a valley, so I'm sure everybody up the valley here in their McMansions, they can hear me. But and I hope you can hear me too, ladies and gentlemen, because what we're trying to point out tonight is that, you know, the con is on. And right now, I think the radar screen and the magnifying glass should be out on every single thing that's out there. And hopefully there'll be some people raising up and becoming, you know, the new Hunter S. Thompson, you know, becoming a part of the story and writing about it and bringing some real experience and knowledge and wisdom to the table for people to consume. And, you know, let me tell you something. Revolution Radio is the home of industrial strength information 48 hours a day. And tomorrow we're going to be starting something new. Typically on Sundays, we do a thing called Streamland on my channel, my YouTube channel, Into the Microcosm W. Jimmy Jean. And we do the Infinite Fringe with Billy Ray Valentine on Sundays. And tomorrow, for the first time, we're going to be streaming on my channel John Wayne from Revolution Radio's show tomorrow. And we're looking forward to that. It's going to be at 5 Pacific, and it'll be on here for 2 hours. I'll be over here in the chat, and we're going to hang out with John Wayne tomorrow. And I'm sure you guys are really, really going to love John if you haven't had a chance to check him out. Also, don't forget, McDonald in the morning, Monday through Friday, following Revolution in the morning with Mitchell Butt, which is a great show. And he is a journalist, ladies and gentlemen. And let me tell you something, the information moves hard and fast. And that is a seriously thick piece of steak. There's no gristle on that. That is 100% killer, no filler. My name's Jimmy. Revolution Radio, it's in the microcosm. Epic. The con is on, man. What does this look like? I mean, this actually looks like, for whatever reason, Biden looks like he's going to sleepwalk into the White House at this point with these polls that are going on. Have they now changed the polling procedure? They stopped dialing landlines and started dialing cell phones. Are we seeing an overwhelming amount of young people moving in the direction of Biden to simply just get away? It's because I want to bring this up. Did you see the quote? Did you see what Michael Moore wrote about 4 or 5 days ago?
I didn't, no.
It was really good. You know, I don't typically like Michael Moore for a lot of reasons. He's done some good work in the past, you know, on certain subjects. You know, I don't like his political leaning, but he was really railing on the Democratic Party. And what he was saying, I think this is really important. This is why I want to bring it up, because I know there's a lot of people here on Revolution Radio that like Trump, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody wants the world to be a good, happy place. So there's nothing wrong with believing in a positive future for yourself. And hopefully, if you think that man that's going to get you there is going to get you there, then that's all good. But I forgot where it's going with that, man. The point
it's whatever he wrote 5 days ago or 3 days ago.
But the point is that it looks like there's a lot of young people, and Michael Moore wrote up a thing about it, and he said that it looks like the Democratic Party is counting on people hating Trump so that they win. And what he brought out was that people were waiting, even though there wasn't a lot of people and it wasn't full, and there was maybe some games were played or whatever happened for whatever reason, but there was people waiting out there for days. And he said people love Trump. And the difference between the people that hate Trump and the people that love Trump is love conquers hate. So
I did see that. I saw the actual interview of that.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so I mean, and there's an important point because the thing about it is that, you know, anything can happen between now and then to turn the whole situation around. And you know, it wasn't that long ago that, you know, I mean, after the first debate, I'm sure there won't be a Biden supporter anywhere to be seen, because the guy can't even do a 30-minute YouTube commercial without stuttering about something on there. And I'm not to say stuttering's bad. I'm just saying he seemed more like he didn't know his lines, and he's trying to pass it off like he had some sort of a speech impediment, which I really don't think it was. But anyways, the con is on, man. Something's up. I don't know what it is. I was expecting another player to come in, but they look like they're going to sleepwalk Biden right in there. Whoever's going to be in that is going to be like a George H. Bush and Ronald Reagan presidency or the JFK situation, where you got somebody just sitting there waiting for something negative to happen and just step into that position. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that it's a done deal. I mean, it's a done deal now. I mean, the writing's totally on the wall. It doesn't really matter at this point whether you want him to or not. Biden's going to be president. It's going to happen because the polling, whether you believe it's true or not, is shifted in such a dramatic fashion that I don't think there's any recovering from it. I don't think there is. The only thing that can happen is it all goes back to that Tulsa thing, really, in a way. A lot of it goes there, but where he got trolled by the K-pop fans, it's kind of funny, actually, you think about it, but,
here's
they're
the
thinking
thing.
a million people waiting and there weren't. But still, the fact is that, it's the writing's on the wall. So,
Hey, here's the thing.
I thought there'd be a third party. I thought there would be. I thought there'd be like the true conservative party or something would come up, or whatever you want to call it, right? And they'd have a third party, but they're not going to.
Here's the thing, dude. There's no if Biden's going to get in there, there's not going to be no second wave that kills everybody. So if Biden gets in, because what Trump has done up until this point with the stimulus, and I'm sure there'll be stimulus to come in the next 4 years, but what he's done so far is going to cause the economy to superheat and really people are going to start investing some of that money right here in our own soil to kind of prevent some of the things that have happened. So there's a lot of positive things that can come out of the economy based on the monies that have been given out by Trump during this whole, crisis or whatever, this situation where everybody's in. We're all in it, but the thing is you can't, if Trump stays in there, he's got 3 kids that can easily be, you have a dynasty that will be created by the economy that's going to be created by the trillions of dollars that have been pumped up into the system. And the thing about it is, if they're going to send Biden in there and that second wave comes in, then the economy crashes and the next 4 years are a living hell, and then the conservatives come back in. They don't want that. Can't have it. So something's got to give. Either the second wave is going to happen, Trump's going to get in, the economy is going to go down in the dump, and no way his kids are ever going to get voted in. Or Biden's going to come in, and there's going to be a lightweight second wave, and then he's going to ride the giant economy that Trump created. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, what's going to happen is it's setting up the universal basic income. It is. And the thing is, like the $6 trillion we were spending on this, remember when that was a big amount of money to give everybody health insurance pretty much forever? Every person in the United States forever is a right. And that was a big arguing point. We just spent it. So, yeah, that's going to be happening too. So, that's what's going to happen. So that's actually kind of a good thing, because the truth is the robot revolution is happening. The technocracy is happening, and we don't have the man. We can't artificially make people do jobs they don't really want to do and aren't qualified to do in the first place anymore and sustain an economy globally, because there's no reason to do that anymore. The robots do the jobs better, faster, more efficiently without needing health insurance in the first place. The scary thing is you want somebody there to protect the people, literally the biological life forms themselves, when they start becoming expendable, right? When everything's about the bottom line of the dollar, that's the risk we take, right? So you need somebody compassionate, and that's why they're propping Biden up. What's he doing lately, right? Look, everybody knows, they should know by now to listen to me. I am totally apolitical. I am not on either side of the fence on this. And the thing is, he's the compassionate guy, right? What's Trump? He's not compassionate. He's selfish. He's impetuous, right? So they're putting him as the rock of stability, and this Biden, that is, as this sympathetic figure who's sympathetic to you and you. In yours, right? But the thing is, what's really happening is it's setting up this technocratic world, and that's always been the agenda. And whoever's president is still going to go that way unless we stop, take notice, do something to change it. It's going to happen, right? I don't want it to happen. I don't think any of us do. So that's the main thing we need to be aware of, is what is the goal here? And that is the goal. That is. It's the globalist goal. It's not for us humans. It is for us humans if you happen to be in the right class. Like the people in the Titanic going to the lifeboats, right? Remember the famous scene, where Zane goes and says, the right people will, get the lifeboats, right? So, yeah, that's right. That's exactly what's happened. Yeah, the right people will.
People see us everywhere. They think you really care. But myself I can't deceive. I know it's only make-believe. My one and only friend is that someday you can. My hopes, my dreams come true. My one and only you. No one will ever know how much I love you so. My only prayer will be you only make.
Come on, Jimmy. It's only make believe.
Someday you care for me, but it's
Robert Gordon, ladies and gentlemen. It's only make-believe. Get mosey on over to freedomslips.com, revolution.radio. There's a Patreon spot up on top, Zazzle store in the middle, and Lady Horse down there holding up the weight of the website on her shoulders, waiting for those friendly letters to come in and let us know if we get the go-ahead for one more month on the air. Epic Journeyman, are you there? We're almost out of time, my friend. 9 minutes to go.
I know, it goes so fast. Yeah, but don't let it pass so fast on us, man. We still got time to change things, you know? It's all about just knowing what's going on, you know? Nobody's talking about the real things, and we try to bring it to you here. But, find out. I mean, go look, you know. And a lot of these people say that, don't really mean it. But we mean it. Go look. Go look it up. It's real. All the stuff we're talking about is real.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, you know, a lot of times, you know, looking it up and having the ability to discern information and not to be stuck into your political bias or just stuck in your filter bubble that keeps you wanting not to believe that something destroys the story, you know. And these storylines are so seductive. I mean, you know, the first actor that we had that we knew about was Ronald Reagan. We knew he was an actor when he came in there. You know what I mean? He was a script reader. You know, they're reading scripts, man. And the script is in, you know, when they say, you know, it's not prophecy, it's a business plan, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's in your hand and your forehead. It's your cell phone. You know, it's in your hand and you hold it up to your forehead. You know, it's in your hand or your forehead. So you've already got the number of the beast, man. They just haven't installed it into your biological computer. Your Rolex in a paper bag situation that we were talking about earlier. Epic. So, what do you got? You got the days off next week for 4th of July? We're coming up on
I do. Yeah, I was going to go to the Big Island this week, but I might go next week. I think I'll stay here.
Well, you know what?
I need to get back to my house over there.
I think what we need to do is do a show. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag before we get the show done on it, but maybe we'll do it tomorrow night. That way, we'll get it in before anybody else does. As far as this lineup, astrological lineup that's happening on the 4th of July this year is one that has not happened in a while. And supposedly it's going to be a pretty raucous ride. Go ahead.
Following the one we just had, right, which we didn't get a chance to do a show on. We got it together late, and yeah, I mean, this thing with the 33s lining up astrologically across the entire world, minutes to latitudes, yeah, it was amazing. That just happened. And there's a mural in North Carolina that talks all about it, so yeah, we'll get into all that stuff.
Yeah, Black Hole Sun, won't you come? My name's Jimmy. Stay tuned. Chair Bear coming up right after us with Late Night, and he always gets a good bunch of conversation going over there all night long, ladies and gentlemen. And he stays firm and stiff all night long right here on Revolution Radio, bringing you the industrial strength, good times that you deserve. You know, like I was saying earlier, I stepped in a big steaming pile of heavy dew on the way in, and still I got some between my toes. I'm going to clean that out. You know, it smells good. It's not what you think. I know when I say that, it makes you think of a certain thing, but that's not what it is. What it is I stepped in something and I tracked it in here and called it The Con Artist. And the con is on, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get caught with your pants down. You know, seek higher ground, seek a higher mentality, a higher authority. That's what I try to do. I hope that's what you're trying to do, Epic. It looks like I see Zach Wild in the green room. He hasn't been with us. He used to come in every night, and then
I sent him out for Cristal, man. He was bringing some back. It looks like. So he's got it's his guitar.
Yeah, he went out for a pack of smokes and never came back. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, my name's Jimmy. It's Into the Microcosm. I'll see you on Monday at 3 o'clock Pacific. If you have time tomorrow, come on over and join us. for this 4th of July special that we're doing, Streamland, over on the channel. Don't forget John Wayne tomorrow, 5 Pacific on Studio A. The man, the myth, the legend himself, the unequivocal truth, DevCon. God bless each and every one of you. Hope you had a good time tonight. I did. I appreciate this time, and I appreciate everybody being here.
You say that you're damned. You say that your life isn't fair. What's right and what's wrong? You got your needs and you just don't care. On and on we drift, back to where we were before. You can welcome me in. I will not walk. Maybe blind, but I'll find my way.
Thanks again. It's revolution.radio, freedomslips.com. Go on over to the Patreon. Throw us a few bones if you got it. If not, share it. Let everybody know where they can find one of the best, if not the best, and also the #1 listener-supported radio network. My name's Jimmy, into the microcosm. For myself and the Epic Journeyman, peace be with you.
I've severed these hands and I've cut you free. Keep your war to yourself. I buried what was and my sympathy. On and on we drift, back to where we were before. You can welcome me in. I will not walk through that door.
All right, there we go. That's it. We're out of there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us over here on YouTube. We really appreciate you guys. Come on in, man. I'm going to get out of here. I got to get to bed. I got to go do some really important stuff tomorrow.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Yeah, good show. I thought it came out pretty decent. I'm just partaking, so it's hard to know when we're listening ourselves.
Yeah, it's hard to know, but we'll find out once we get there. All right, well, thanks again, ladies and gentlemen. Much love, peace be with you, and we'll talk to you soon. Tomorrow night, over.
Hello, welcome everybody. That was a long bike ride. Went on a really long bike ride today. I think I streamed about 2 hours. So that was really good. It was different. It was definitely different. It makes me think of wanting to only stream bike rides. I want to stream bike rides and listen to podcasts at the same time. It's very relaxing to me. It's one of my favorite things to do. Is riding bikes and listening to podcasts. This is my bike. That's right. What's going on, guys? What up, Sambat? How's it going? Ooh. That was a nice bike ride. I'm gonna be playing some PUBG soon. So if you guys want to join me, play a game of PUBG, I'll be down. Any of you guys play PUBG?
But I already get enough of it with chat.
And me.
Trillers! There are trillers!
Alright, cool. Well, thanks so much for watching. I hope it came out okay. We'll see how podcasting and riding a bike goes.